Alright, this is the Wednesday, June 1st, GreatStockPicks.com highlight video from our live trading chat room. Show you what we called today. I've titled this, I guess the word is, I've entitled this worst highlight video ever, because there's not a whole lot of highlights, but I will talk a little bit about the market. We did call OPXT early. This is the opening 5-minute candle. Let's get the drawing tool going here. This was the opening 5-minute candle. All this is yesterday. That's supposed to be a circle. Haven't been drinking, I swear. The daily chart suggested that this one could break out if it broke its early high. So I called this at 293, and you can see what happened. It broke and went pretty quickly to 305. Doesn't sound like a lot, but what is that? 12-cent move on a $3 stock, not bad. And then the market, it retested there, but then the market, as you know, extremely weak today, and just was a heavy weight on everything. So there are some people in the chat room made some money on this early trade, but again, not a huge trade. Agilent, the letter A is the symbol. I called this as a long using one of the methods we teach, 48.65. Where is that? Probably right about in here. Right about here. Worst case stop, 48.50, so only 15 cents risk, and it did make it to 48.80. Now, how's that for a good wrap-up? 15-cent move. Now, we do teach people, our members, if we get a dime or more, it's a pretty good practice to go ahead and just kill the trade if it comes back to your entry. I used to say a nickel or more, but this market's too low volume right now to let that work. So hopefully members that took that maybe scalped a little and went to a break-even stop. But I don't think that's a bad practice in this market. If you get something that you take a trade and it moves a dime or more in your favor, I'm not suggesting sell it at a dime or even sell some. There's nothing wrong with selling some for a dime. And then it comes back to your entry. Why let the stop work? If it makes a dime move in your favor, comes back to your entry, it's probably not going to work, right? So anyway, this is a pretty sad highlight video when I have to show you a 15-cent move as a highlight. MENT, I like this as a potential bounce play, so it looked like this when I called it. This is the opening 5-minute candle, this green one here. I called it if it got to 1345 over this little base with a 1336 stop, so less than a dime risk. Now as I scroll to the right, we got to 1345, and it just went sideways. Finally made it to 1355 before coming back down. And that was, again, the SPY, the overall market, just a huge weight. Did give about a half hour for members to say, you know what, this isn't going anywhere, at least kill it flat or whatever. AMSC, if you traded it all today, you probably saw this one. Gap down. Did a little bottom fishing on this one and called it as a long at 879. I believe that was somewhere right in here, right on this little pop right there, with a stop at 870. So 9 cents risk. You can see it didn't go anywhere. Maybe went to 880 and stopped out for a 9-cent stop. And I think I made one more afternoon call. This is probably about every call I made. Skyworks. I don't have that in my notes as to where it was. Skyworks. Give me a second. No wonder I couldn't find it. It wasn't Skyworks. It was Sienna. Clean twos. Basically, believe it looked like this. Nice little stair-step pattern, 2-minute candles. I called it right here at 25.77 with a 25.70 stop. And I think it went to 25.81. So 7 cents risk, but you can see it went sideways for a little bit and stopped out. And then I was done. I just told everybody, you know what, I feel, and let's go to the SPY real quick. All right, we had a few bounce plays that maybe put some money in some folks' pockets, and and a lot of them just triggered and failed pretty quickly. They had tight stops, but that's still nothing that doesn't save you any money, or it doesn't make you any money when you stop out. But look at the SPY here, just grinding lower all day, and as I said, there's really no way to know that the SPY is going to grind down all day and close at the lows until the day's over. And at some point, when we were around lunchtime, let me get my drawing tool again, when some of the early bounce attempts maybe gave a little bounce and then failed, or a little money and then came back to break even, okay? And then you go through the slow lunch period where it's still grinded lower then, okay? And then you come out of lunch and then you try the Sienna and that doesn't work. Well, at some point when the SPY has been doing this all day, All right, at this point down here in this area, and you can just pick any stock you want because most of them move with the market, but at this point, I feel silly shorting, okay? I feel like, well, I've missed the move. I'm not going to call a short this late in the day, and the bounces aren't working. So I called the trades that I showed you just now, and then I just said, you know what, guys, and this was probably around 2 o'clock maybe. I said, I'm probably done for the day. The bounces aren't working. I feel silly shorting this late, and we'll get a fresh start in the morning. So we kind of hung out, talked about setups, talked about safe trading guidelines, position size, all the important stuff. At least I think it's important, especially position size. But I didn't call anything in the afternoon. I'm a slow learner, but eventually I learned, hey, this isn't working, and I'm not going to chase it short. There's nothing wrong with just sitting in cash and waiting for another day. So that's why I think this deserves to be called worst highlight video ever. All right. So anyway, have a great night, and we'll try to put out another video tomorrow night.